Hello everyone, welcome to yoga at the Chafee Fitness Center virtually. So thank you for clicking in on YouTube to join me for our 45-minute practice. So today we're going to look at, because it's 2021 and we have a new year, and 2020 wasn't the best, to put it mildly, right? So today's focus for our practice is any bad habits, patterns of behavior that you've picked up over the COVID period, 2020, that you want to get rid of, right? You want to destroy that behavior and rebuild something more positive, a more positive behavior. So we're going to embrace Shiva, the god, today. So Shiva is the destroyer. So every million years or so, he destroys the universe and then they rebuild it. So I always like to think sometimes we have to take things apart to make them better, right? So your intention for your practice, we're gonna come into an easy pose, and you can sit on a block if you want to. Right, we're gonna come into easy pose, cross the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, right? Take the palms up. Ears are over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. And just think about something that a pattern of behavior, a habit that you've picked up over the last 12 months or so that really isn't serving you and it's holding you back in life, that you'd like to get rid of, right? That you like to, when I say destroy, I mean in a positive way. We're using that word in a positive way, right? Destroying something that doesn't serve us so that we can build something that does. So closing the eyes, palms are up. Start to settle into your Ujjayi breath, which is an inhale, exhale through the nose. If that doesn't work for you, you can take the inhale through the nose and exhale through an open mouth. So as we start to engage our breath, find your intention. Think of that. Don't make a laundry list. It's one thing. One thing that you'd like to say goodbye to. And you can meditate on that while we practice today. Right? So palms up. Imagine that habit, that pattern of behavior is in the palm of your hands and you're setting it out into the universe. Right? And then on the next exhale, we'll just take the palms down and just gently wrap the fingers around the knees. And start to find these little circles. So we did do this last week. We're gonna build off last week's class, right? So you're coming into this rounding, tucking the chin as you go to the back, finding that little cat pose. And as you come forward, opening the chest and looking forward if the neck allows that movement. Right, so it's just really nice, wake up that lower back. We've got two more, and then we're gonna go in the other direction. And then come forward, go the other way. Sometimes if you don't get dizzy, it's really nice to close your eyes in this pose, in this flow. Try to keep the shoulders from elevating towards the bottom of the earlobes. Let's do 3 or 4 more, depending on where you are. We're doing 8 in total. And then we'll come back to sit up nice and tall. Uncross your ankles and cross them the other way. Okay, we always go to our more comfortable place. Finding your blocks if you want to use them as we start to move laterally. Right, so the left hand goes to the block or to the mat next to that left hip. Inhale the right arm up, and then we'll reach that right arm over and just start to come into a lateral stretch. On your next inhale, shoulders over the hips as you take that right hand down and reach the left arm over. So see, we're keeping that right shoulder from scooching up, right? Keep it away from the ear. Just starting to open up where the rib cage is, your serratus anterior, big muscle under your arm, your lat muscles. Reach, reach, reach. On your next inhale, the shoulders come over the hips. We go back to the left hand by the left hip. Take the right hand to the left knee. Inhale to extend, and then exhale and find that rotation. So it's a gentle rotation. We're twisting from our thoracic spine, right? So that's the 12 vertebrae that sit between our lower back and our neck. On your next exhale, let's unwind. Take that right hand by the right hip, left hand goes to the right knee. Inhale to elongate the spine, and then exhale, find your twist here. I would personally like to destroy 2020, but we're gonna go into some positivity and really focus on having a much better year in 2021. And then coming back to center, right? Hands come back onto the knees, tuck your chin. And then now this is, if you have neck issues, you're just gonna sit quietly and close your eyes and come into your breath. If your neck is healthy, right, you drop the chin towards the chest, and then we'll take the right ear towards the right shoulder. So that left side, you're gonna get all through your scalene muscles, you're gonna get a nice stretch right there. And then we'll slowly bring the chin back to chest and go over to the other side. Shoulders stay in their pockets. That means they're not scrunched up, they're not elevated. Right? Hands are gently just cupping the knees. On your next exhale, you bring the chin to chest. We'll take our fingertips behind to the base of the skull, gently hug the elbows in as you inhale to look forward rather, and then start to gaze towards the ceiling. Right, so just moving the head into extension. We spend all day in flexion over our phones and computers. Right? So let's just look up to the universe, open the throat, right? Support the head. On your next exhale, we'll bring the ears back over the shoulders, right? Release the hands, and let's come right into a child's pose. So you can put your props to the side. I like knees wide, big toes touch, but you can certainly keep your knees together, right? This is an option. You come down to child's pose, or you take it wide. I like this because it abducts my hips. My diaphragm can move up and down a little bit easier. That's just me, right? You connect your forehead to the mat or a block. I'm gonna keep my head elevated because I'm cueing, right? And if this doesn't feel good on your knees to be in full flexion, you just come into this variation of a child's pose up on the forearms. All right, please don't put your knees in a place they don't want to be. On your next inhale, let's come up to tabletop, wrists under the shoulders. If the knees were wide, we can bring them back under the hips. Tuck your toes, and let's come into our first down dog. Right, so we're lifting the hips, drawing the ears between the arms. Right, I'm gonna bend my knees because I'm still not really warm yet. And then I'm gonna, please take your right heel towards the mat and bend the left knee. And say hello to your calf muscles, right? The back of the lower leg. And then let's switch sides. Pause here. And then you can find your rhythm. Right? You can find your up and down. You can pause. You can move a little quicker. Right? We have 2 more rounds of breath. A round of breath is an inhale and an exhale. Right? And then when you get to that second exhale, we'll bend the knees. Take an inhale together, and then on the exhale, just take your feet to your hands. Just walk to your hands. Feet are about hip distance apart. Right? Inhale, bring your fingertips to your shins. This is where we're going to pause. We did this last week, I know. But people round in this pose. This is what they do. And then they look up. So they're jacking their neck, they're rounding their back. Right? So you're going to inhale, draw the shoulder blades towards one another, open the heart, open the chest, fingertips. They rest where they land, who cares? Your gaze is down. right? And then you can bend the knees on the exhale and fold. And let's do that two more times. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. And on this inhale, we're going to rise up to stand. Connect the palms overhead and bring your hands to your heart center. And find your mountain pose. Right? So feet are hip distance apart. Release the hands. If the shoulders allow you to externally rotate and bring the palms forward, let's do that. Stay facing me. I'm just showing you from the side. Find that little posterior tilt. Feel that core engagement between the hips. Your gaze is forward. And then lift your toes. And come into the 3 points of your feet. Right? So we follow the arches of the feet. So it's from the big toe to the little toe to the heel, heel to the big toe. That's your triangle of support right there. Right? And then we'll bring the toes back down. They're extended, not scrunched, right? So they're extended on the mat. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to your plank. We'll come down into the knees, flatten the top of the feet, elbows hug in as you lower to the mat. Right, take the fingertips behind you, tent the fingertips, scoop the bottom of the shoulder blades towards the front of the body as you lift the chest. Right, so you're gently pressing into the top of your feet, your chin is tucked. Your neck is neutral. Right, just starting to do some strengthening of that lower back. You've got 3, 2, bring the hands by your shoulders, press back to child's pose. And we're going to start to build that vinyasa. Right? Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, come into your down dog. Pause here. Right? You can walk the dog. We're going to be here for 3 rounds of breath. You can walk the dog, you can simply stay in the pose. Right? On that third exhale, we'll bend the knees, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale to your halfway, neutral spine. Exhale, fold. Use this inhale to rise up nice and strong, maybe a little standing back bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And then we exhale, plant the palms and you step back. And you know you can go on your knees too, all right? That's an option. And we're going to lower all the way down. We're going to inhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears, right? And then lift your chest up to come into your cobra, right? Hips stay on the ground, legs are on the ground. Then exhale, child's pose. One more round. Follow on the breath. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, come into your down dog. Pause here. So make sure you're pressing through the heel of the hand, the knuckles, the fingertips, right? Keep the shoulders in their pockets. On the third exhale, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. All right, here we go, everyone. Plant the palms, step back to your plank, right? If you're going to lower it high to low, you bring the shoulders in front of the elbows. Wrists. And then inhale to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, and come into your down dog. On that third exhale, we bend the knees. We travel to the top, right? Inhale to your halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise, and as you take the hands together overhead, bring the feet together. And then on your next exhale, we sink into chair pose. So hands are in prayer at the heart center, right? You're not sticking no anterior tilt or exaggerated posterior tilt, right? You're going to sink down, nice neutral spine, maybe tuck the chin slightly. And then you can extend the arms. We have Charlie Angel's arms, right? So if this is pinching in your shoulders, don't connect the hands, okay? Don't have any pinchiness in your shoulders. And we're pressing the palms together, sitting down in our chair. And then on your next inhale, we'll rise up, right? Connect that right foot and bring the left knee up. Arms come to frame the ears. So this right leg is nice and strong. You're contracting. Glutes are your butt muscles. Quads are the front of the legs. And then hamstrings are the back of the thigh. Okay, so we're contracting glutes and quads. Now let's take that left knee out to the side. Flex the foot. And then bring it back. Reach around to hold on to that left foot. Knees and hips are in line as much as you can. Now this is a moment, if you're wobbling, take your hand and go to the wall, right, or a piece of furniture. If you're feeling like you can't maintain this, we're gonna press the foot into the hand into the foot, right? Stay where you are, I'm just modeling from the side, right? So we're pressing the foot into the hand. We're drawing the heel away from the glutes, and you're getting that nice stretch in the front of the leg. Right. And then we'll release, take that left knee back up, tuck the chin, soften that right knee. Now you can float back or step back to your crescent warrior. Okay? And again, props and small animals, please be mindful. Rotate that left hip, inhale, take the arms up. And here we are in our crescent warrior. Right, so we're going to goal post the arms, palms face the front. On the exhale, let's lower that left knee down, elbows to rib cage. Inhale, bring it up, squeeze that left butt cheek. We have 3 more. See, I almost fell out, right? You are gonna fall out of your poses. You know what? Who cares? Doesn't matter, you're supposed to fall out. We're finding a sense of humor about falling out of our poses. Right, 1 more. And then come on up, find that crescent warrior, and then open up to your warrior 2. And we're pausing here. We're gonna pause here. We're gonna pull our pants up, and we're gonna pause. Shoulders are over the hips. Right? You're anchoring the outside arch of that back foot. And that back foot, you want it to be at a 45-degree angle as much as you can. You just don't want the foot like out like that. Right? You want the toes in a 45-degree angle. Bring the arms up. And let's get nice and low in that lunge. Right? Now your gaze can do what I'm doing because I'm looking at the camera, right? So my gaze is following my heart. So to look over the right hand, that doesn't feel good on your neck or your shoulder hikes up when you do that. Just have your gaze follow your heart. Right? Well, on the next exhale, we'll cartwheel our arms down to frame that right foot and then come onto the left, pivot on the ball of the left foot. Drop that left knee down, flatten the top of the foot. Inhale, and come on up to our low lunge. So really important, that left hip is closed, right? So you rotate it towards the top. Squeeze those glute muscles. Hug that right leg in, and then we start to sink. So I'm not in an anterior tilt, I'm not in a back bend here. Don't dump into the lower back, we're looking to stretch this. Right, and then on your next exhale, take your hands in front of the right toes, and we're going right into our standing split. Our first balance pose, well, second balance pose, right? So lift that left leg. Your gaze is looking at your right knee or your toes if you need that for your stability. Right? That left hip is rotated towards the mat. And play with that right leg. Like if your hamstrings are super tight, you can always bend the knee. We're going to play with extending. On your next exhale, bring that left foot to meet the right. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise, bring the hands and feet together, and let's come right back into our chair pose. So we're gonna add on here. So hands are at heart center. You're gonna inhale and come up to mountain. Upward salute actually, and take the palms of your hands, heel of your hands over the head. Then the exhale, you come into chair. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come on down. We have 1 more round. And as you come up, right? Pause here. Bring the hands back to the heart, and we're going right into our tiny dancer, right? So hips are level. Find that connection. Use that triangle support in the left foot. And reach right on over. Right, so while we're balanced here, pressing the foot into the hand into the foot, and come into, find your dristi, so that's your gaze forward. We'll release that. Lift the knee up. The right arm comes to frame the right ear, and then take your right leg out. So we're going to do a little external rotation of the hips right here. And you're going to take it out. Right. Contracting. Make this your root, that left leg. And then we'll bring this back, right? Soften that left knee and find your way to crescent warrior. So you hinge or float back. So the hinge looks like this. You come forward and you float those right toes back, and then you come up. Or you step back, it doesn't matter, right? We rotate that right hip, goal post the arms so palms face forward, and then on the exhale, that right knee goes towards the mat, elbows to ribs. Inhale and bring it up. So we've got 3 more. Two more. Last one. And then come on up, right? And open up into your warrior 2. So we're going to drop that back heel, right? Come into that lunge. Make your legs really strong, right? So contract that back leg. Lift the inner arch. Anchor the outside arch of that back foot, right? Arms are nice and strong. Gaze can be following the heart, or gaze can be following the left hand. Right, we're lifting those inner arches. Don't forget about the lunge. A lot going on here. So while we're paused in this pose, come back to what we're destroying, what you're going to shed, right? What you're going to get rid of from 2020 so that we can rebuild something more positive for 2021. On your next exhale, we bring the hands down to frame the left foot. You drop down on that right knee very gently, and please pat that knee. I'm on a double mat, right? Flatten the top of that right foot. On the inhale, we sweep up. We come into our low lunge. Right hip is rotated. Engage those right glutes. Start to sink forward, opening up those hip flexors, reaching the arms up. Fingers are active, right? Think of them as exclamation marks, right? We're looking for a stretch right here, right? If you do this, oh, this looks really pretty. This dumps into my lower back. Am I getting a stretch? Kinda, right? But if you take it back, rotate the hip, engage the glutes, it feels really good, right? One more round of breath. And then on the exhale, you bring your hands down in front of the left toes, come up on the ball of the right foot, use that leverage to extend the left leg and lift the right leg up and come into your standing split on the left leg supported. One more round of breath, and then we'll take that right foot to meet the left. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Then inhale, rise. Rise on up, and this is our chair, but we're going to keep our feet wide. And you're going to come back to chair pose. So this is a 45-minute practice. So this is an abbreviation of a class that I teach about Shiva. Right? So as you come up to stand, right, on the inhale, anchor that right foot, and then we're going to internally rotate. I'm sorry, we're going to externally rotate. This is internally rotating. We're going to externally rotate. You're going to lift that left leg up, flex the toes, and then come into your O arms. So this is the dance of Shiva. Right? So he's destroying. Right? He's destroying the universe with love and compassion and peace. Right? It's a positive thing. On your next exhale, come back to your chair pose. And then on the inhale, we'll connect the left foot, lift the right leg up, the right arm comes down. We make like this little, well, it's more like an oval, right? Contract that left butt cheek, lift that right leg. And then come back to your chair pose. So now we're gonna find a flow with this, okay? So on the inhale, right, left leg comes up, you pause for a round of breath. On the exhale, you come back to chair. Inhale, rise up, lift that right leg this time. Pause for a round of breath, which is an inhale and exhale. And then on the exhale, we come down. We're gonna do that one more time. You find your rhythm. Flex the toes, right? So he's dancing. He's going swirling through the universe, right? Destroying to build something better, right? And then bring your foot down, bring your arms up. Come back to your chair pose. Take your hands behind you, right? So you can alternate, hold on to forearms, hook the thumbs, and release the fingers, right? We're in that chair, neutral spine. Tuck the chin, scoop your shoulder blades, and then as you exhale, we come into this forward fold. Now, if your shoulders are super tight, you might need to have a towel between the hands. If you don't have a towel and this is unattainable, just take your hands apart. You're still gonna get a shoulder stretch, right? Listen to your body. Right, try not to rock back in the heels, engage the ball of the foot, spread those toes. On your exhale, bring the hands, fingers down by the toes. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And we're gonna build our vinyasa. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. We're gonna rise up. And as we rise up, let's come into our Shiva. Lift that left leg. And pause. And then what I'd like you to do is we're gonna internally rotate here. So it's like a little pendulum and you're gonna swing gently and mindfully and you're internally rotating your hip. Again, if you have hip issues and this doesn't feel good, just keep the knee neutral, please, right? And then we'll swing that left arm up, sweep it up, come right here, hinge, and we'll float or step back to crescent warrior, which is going to be our transition pose. But those fingertips are active. Gaze is forward. Come back to your breath while we pause here. Come back to that intention. What are you sending out in the universe? What habits, patterns of behavior are not serving you? Right? Let's say goodbye to them. Let's destroy it. Right? And then open up into warrior two. Take that right forearm onto the right leg. Sweep the left arm over. There you go. Side angle prep. Right? On your inhale, we're gonna come back to warrior two for just a moment. Stay with that bend in the right leg as you sweep the right arm back, and here we are, we're in our reverse warrior. Right? If you need to extend this leg because it's tired, please do. If you can stay with the lunge, there you go. Right, so 3 more rounds. Exhale, come right into your side angle prep. The inhale, we sweep the right arm back as we come into our reverse warrior. 2 more. We're gonna meet in our side angle prep. We're gonna meet in this pose. Last one, right? And come to your side angle. Reach that left arm over. Reach those fingertips, right? On your next exhale, hands come to frame the front foot, pivot on the back toes, anchor that left wrist under the left shoulder as the right fingers go up, and we find our runner's lunge with a twist. Right? Open the heart. And then the exhale, bring that right hand down. Take that left foot up to meet the right. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up. And as we rise, that right leg comes up for Shiva. Right, so all these opportunities to come back to your intention and think of Shiva. Shiva's blue in some of the stories that you read. And then you're going to sweep that right leg. So internally rotate. And then we'll slowly bring it back. Externally rotating, sorry. And then we'll bring that right knee in line with the right hip, sweep the right arm up, and find your way to Crescent Warrior. Square the hip, sweep the arms up, and let's open up into our Warrior Two. Right, so being really mindful that the shoulders are over the hips and you're not doing this. If you're feeling pinchy in your hip, it's probably because you're in Running Man and not Warrior Two, right? So the shoulders stay over the hips. You anchor that outside arch of that right foot, arms come up. We'll take that left forearm onto the left leg as you reach the right arm over. Right, come back to your breath. And then on the inhale, next inhale, you stay with the lunge, and we're reversing the warrior, we pause here. And then we're gonna do 3 more rounds. You can follow me or you can go on your own breath. Some people like to move fast, and that's great as long as you're not clipping your breath, which means you have to get the full inhale and exhale. So exhale, we come into our side angle. Inhale, sweep around, yes. I can't see you, but I know it looks great. If you're following me, we have 1 more round. Right, if you're not following me and you're on your own breath, we do 4 rounds. And then we come back, we pause in our side angle. Right, gently press the forearm. Keep that left shoulder away from the left ear. Nice long neck, right? And then on your next exhale, bring the hands down to frame the foot. We pivot on the back toes. Anchor that right wrist onto the right shoulder as you reach the left arm up and tee the arm up. Then we'll exhale, take that left hand to the left foot, take the right foot up to meet the left. Pause here in your fold, right? Holding onto opposite forearms. And maybe sway side to side. I sometimes like to just pause and ragdoll. Right? You're allowed to boutique your poses, okay? So if you get to ragdoll and you're like, I just really am enjoying this traction, I don't want to sway side to side, then don't. I'm here to guide you, right? I'm here to teach and to guide, right? But in the end, it is your practice. Right? So we'll release the hands, fingertips in front of the toes. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale to find the fold. Inhale, rise. Come on up, nice and strong. Maybe a standing back bend. Exhale, pull the belly in as you fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. Right, and we'll lower in half or full. The inhale, we come to cobra or up dog. Exhale, please go into a child's pose. So excellent work. So if you've wandered away, right? If you've wandered going, well, how much longer is this class? The answer to that is 10 minutes. But if you've wandered away from your breath or your intention, which is normal, right? We get distracted, come back to it. Take this time in your child's pose, right? If you're crunching knees, you do child's pose this way. To come back to your cycle of breath, come back to your intention. So on the inhale, let's come on up, right? Tuck your toes and come into down dog. We are going to transition into lizard, okay? So nice little hip opener, right? So the inhale, we take the right toes up, right? The exhale, you come behind plank, and you're gonna take that right foot to the outside of your right hand. So I'm just gonna scooch around so you can see what I'm doing, right? So it's not a runner's lunge, it's a we're bigger in our runner's lunge. So the foot is outside. Now, you can stand, you want the wrist under the shoulders, right? Gaze is down, I'm looking up because I'm looking at you, right? But I'd like you to keep your gaze down, press through the whole hand, right? And then you can bring that left knee down on the mat and then flatten the top of the foot. So you'd like to have that nice alignment of the left hip, knee, and ankle. So you don't want the leg out or the leg in, rotating in, right? You can come down, if you're super open in your hips, good for you. You can come down on your forearms. I cannot do that. So what I typically do is I take blocks, right? So this is level 3. I'm usually on level 2. If I'm really warm, I can get down to level 1, right? And you can rest your forearms here. Right? Now you have choices. You can hug that elbow, you can hug shin to tricep, or if you want more of a stretch in the inner thigh, you can roll out to the outer arch of that right foot. Again, we're keeping the gaze down, right? And press through your forearms or your hands. So you're not dropping the head and collapsing. We're having a nice strong back, right? So whatever variation of lizard speaks to you, or you can try both of them. Right, this is more adductor, the one I'm doing with the knee out to the side. Right, if you bring it in, it's a little bit more getting hip flexors on the other side. But I like that adductor, why not? Right, one more round of breath. If the sole of your foot isn't connected, let's connect it on that right foot. Right, come back onto the hands, take your prop away. We're going to start to take that left hip over the left knee. Gently bring that right leg around, right? And then come into your child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, come into your down dog. We're going to do the other side. So inhale, take the left toes up, and then bring it through, right, to the outside of the left hand. And we'll pause here. All right, so see how this feels, right? My right leg is still extended. I'm pressing through the ball of the back foot. Then I'm very, very gently and mindfully going to bring my right knee down to the mat and flatten the top of my right foot. So you can pad that knee. You can also keep the ball of the foot connected, right? If you don't want to flatten the top of the foot. And then from here, if you want the blocks, right, on this side, I'm not as open, so I'm just gonna stay on my hands, actually. If you wanna open up, you can just, all you're doing is rolling out on the outside of that left arch of your foot, right? So whether you're on your forearms or your hands, you're pressing it. Press the mat away. Keep your upper back nice and strong, right? We have 2 more rounds of breath. On that second exhale, we'll bring the sole of the foot back to the mat if it needs to come back there. You're going to start to walk that right hip over the right knee. Right, very gently bring that left foot around. And we're going to come right into our child's pose. And on your inhale, let's slowly roll up to thunderbolt. So we're going to find our way onto our backs. Right. And mind you, with this practice, I don't play music in here because of copyright situations. So please feel free to put a playlist on of relaxing music. And you're going to roll back, find yourself onto your back. Right. And then you can gently bring take the feet off the mat. So see how my hips are connected? I'm not doing this, right? I keep my hips down. And if you have crunchy knees, hold on behind the hamstrings. If your knees are healthy, you can always hold on to the shins. It's up to you. Gaze is up towards the ceiling, maybe eyes are closed. Right, and we're gonna go over the spine, hip to hip. Nice and easy. And then come back to center. Take your hands, palms down on the knees. And we'll do knee circles. 4 in one direction, and then 4 in the other. Bringing some mobility back to the hips. Beautiful, everybody. And then we extend the legs. And then palms face forward. So I'm not going to do a regular shoulder stand. If you are a yogi and that's something that you do in your practice, please, you can take it now. If you don't know what it is, this is just stay in the restorative, right? That's just because it's online and I'm not there to see you do the pose or to cue you through it. I'd rather not teach it on YouTube. Right? You can always contact me. I'm always happy to do a Zoom call if you have questions about a yoga pose or something doesn't feel good in your body. Please contact me. I have no issues with that at all. I love to hear from people. Right, so from here we'll bend the knees. If you're in a regular shoulder stand, you can go into plow or deaf man's pose, right? And then we'll start to connect the soles of our feet as we slowly take the outer arches down to the mat and come into butterfly pose. So the soles of your feet are connected, right? And the knees fall open. Now, what's really nice if you have blocks and you want to hang out in this pose, support it. Put the blocks under your thighs, right? If you're doing yin yoga, you would be holding this pose for 3 or 4 minutes. You have to have support. Otherwise, what happens is your nervous system's going to kick in after about a minute or so. It's going to say, what is going on here? And then you're going to start to get into fight or flight. So that's not what we want to do when we do yoga. Your gaze is up. You can have Shavasana arms or snow angel arms with the palms up. So very slowly, we're going to start to take the soles of the feet to the mat. Right, connect your left foot, take the right leg up. Then we're gonna hold on to hamstrings or shins, or you can get a yoga belt. Please don't pull behind the knee on the tendons. Foot is flexed or neutral. If you have sciatic issues, I would keep the foot neutral, which means you're just letting it hang out there. You're not actively flexing or pointing, it's just hanging out. I don't have any sciatic stuff, so I'm going to flex my toes. Gently bend that knee and let's go to the other side. On the next exhale, we'll bring that foot down. Take your feet wide, bring the inside of the knees to touch. We're gonna pause here. I like to imprint my lower back, so what that means is stay where you are, right? You just come into this little posterior tilt on the floor, and then you're gently placing that lower back on the mat. There's no jamming, right? There's no clenching of the glutes, it's just a gentle placement. But sometimes you do yoga and then you go into Shavasana and it doesn't feel great. I've been there. And I've taught classes like that where I get into Shavasana, I'm like, what did I forget to do? This doesn't feel good, right? So I like to do this pose before I go into Shavasana. Little imprint, knees are touching, inside of the knees are touching, right? And then we're connecting our outer arches. The 3 points of our feet are still connected. You're not rolling in to the inner arch. and pause here. Right, so this is your choice. You can stay here. We're going to do a 1-minute Shavasana. Right, and if you want to stay longer, then you can certainly do that. Let go of your Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath. So from here, if you're ready to come out, if you want to stay longer, please do. And you can click off the video and take a nice Shavasana. In regular classes, we do 5 minutes, right? 3 to 5 minutes. So you can find your way over to your right side. Right, so our right side is our yang, our left side is our yin. So let's expose our yin side out to the universe. That's our calm side, to your moon, to your parasympathetic nervous system. We don't spend enough time in our yin unless you do a lot of meditating. And then we'll press into that left hand. We'll come back to a comfortable seat. I'm going to come to Thunderbolt to close my practice today. Hips to heels, or you can sit in easy pose like we started. Right, bring the hands to heart center. And then you can take a soft gaze down the nose. Take this one opportunity here to come back to your intention. What can you destroy with love, peace, and compassion in your life to make room for something more positive that's going to serve you better in 2021? And we'll take our thumbs up to the third eye, the space in the middle of our forehead, as we find our bow of gratitude, as we bow forward and say namaste. So thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please contact me. Contact me through the base, Eloise Tamer. I would love to hear from you. Any comments or questions about anything that we're doing? That would be terrific. Have a great day.